of our heart. But maybe 2 or 3 points I want to make. Number one is this journey was a long journey. Uh, it actually began, for those who don't know, it began in 2009 when we came with the idea of restructuring Kengen balance sheet and finding ways of financing the projects that Kengen had in plan. And we came with various ideas, which included, one of them included having a rights issue. I think, as Mary says, the point we picked it, there had been a lot of battles earlier, including privatization commission. Many times we had to go to privatization commission. In 2013, we had, just before the annual general meeting, there were a lot of discussions, and the number kept changing. At one time, it was 46 billion. And then when we went to Ministry of Energy and National Treasury in 2013, and it had to come down to around 28. And I remember my colleague Simon Ngure, we were working with projects and layer, and we had to go to Ministry of Energy and do a lot of working there. And so it took a long time. One time, Pricewaterhouse was involved with us, and we went to PIA, to Privacy Commission, trying to convince them. Had meetings at School of Government. And these were all part of a process. It looked like sometimes it was failing, sometimes it was picking up. And one time, actually, it became very challenging. But I want to say, if you have a will, there's a way. And we picked up. And I remember after the 2013 AGM, was the most discouraging for me, because when we got the AGM approval outside, some of the people I really respect told me, John, you can't be doing this. This is the wrong thing to do. This is really the wrong thing to even think about. That was in 2013. One time I met one of the, again, I don't want to say names, but a very respectable person at the airport told me, John, what are you doing? How can you tell the government of Kenya to put 20 billion at this time? In this kind of thing. That was, I'm talking about 2013, 2014. You didn't know what the government is going through. So these are very discouraging moments, but we felt, no, this is the right time. Something was telling me inside me, John, this is the right time. This is the right time. You must go forth. So I would get all those very negative sentiments and kept smiling. But then as time went by, I had such nice peace. I believed it was going to happen. So when the price, when we started, the price was at 18 shillings. We were hoping to sell the share at 14 shillings and something. So then it kept coming down. Wow, coming down, and you think, my God, it's coming down. It came to 13. Then we had nice results. It came to below 10. We had nice results. Went to 11. Touched 13. David said, "Oh my God, it's going up." Then it came back again. So no nice things. But anyway, when it came down completely, and now I met some of the investors, and that time it was around 10. They were telling me, "No, these shares, we're going to buy it at 6." I said, "My God, are we doing the right thing?" But the idea and the confidence and the belief in the future, we kept driving. We changed strategies, we changed tact, we changed the approach. Initially, we had fixing one for one, and when we realized as moved, we said, fine, we are not going, you cannot stop a river from flowing, but you can find a way of swimming with the river. So we said, we'll go with the market. So if the market decides to go down, we'll follow the market down. And that's what we did. And that's what we did with 2 to 1. This has involved many people and lots of very good and lots of efforts. During the process itself, it became tense. I think we needed that retreat, but I don't know whether it helped. The Mombasa retreat was nice, but I think that was the best part of it. Because after that, it became very tense. I remember one time, became very heated, very heated, quite heated discussions. We were 3 teams in different locations, and the discussions were not very nice. But it all ended up building the final product. For gold to come out, it must go through the fire. You can never get gold out of just dust. It must go through the fire. And we went through fires, but that was part of the process. And at the end of the day, we can all celebrate today and say, it was wow. Everybody who looks at Kengen says, Kengen has done it at this time in the market. How can you raise 26 billion? The market is so down, it's the lowest we have seen. And we are saying we have raised the largest. So it's all because of you, and you, and you, and you. And that's the reason why today I want to say thank you for believing in us. Thank you for the nights. But my friend, Lawrence, I think I must apologize. I wanted a board paper to approve the price. And I tell you, that weekend happened to be a bad weekend because I had 2 funerals. And this board paper wasn't coming. And I would call Mary, then I said, no, I don't want to call Mary anymore because now she was getting also tense. So I decided to get on Lawrence. And Lawrence wasn't telling me the truth. The reconciliations were not working. That's the truth. So she didn't sleep that night. Is that true? So only on Monday morning he told me, John, since Friday I've only slept for 3 hours. That's what it takes. We had got the board paper ready very early. I was going to the board. It's numbers we still have to, but that's what it meant. We a lot of hours. All the advisors put a lot. David, you made me leave a whole chicken on a table in South Africa. That's what I found is the most cruel host because we were going to meet one of the investors, and he had fed me on sandwiches. I told him, where I come from, sandwich is not respected because vegetable and just bread. So he told me, you eat your chicken, me I'm going to eat your sandwich. And you have only 40 minutes to get the chicken. So we ordered the chicken and it was very nice. When it came, it was at 100 degrees Celsius. He told me, you only have 5 minutes. Before it could get cold, he told me, John, we have to go now. So I left the whole chicken on the table and went for the meeting. And those are some of the journeys. One time in London, with PJ, and we were moving from one side of London to another side. And we had to meet investors. So that's the most interesting because we got it. We had this limousine that was supposed to carry us. So we went, then the limousine couldn't work. We got into a train. We left the limousine on the road, rushed to a train with PJ, came out of the train, got to a taxi, a bit, then she couldn't find the place very well. John, she asked me, John, do you have 5 pounds in your pocket? I said, I just have 5 pounds. Can you give me? Stopped a taxi, we go into a taxi. This is too slow. Can you come out? We were running. I said, my God, this is ridiculous. We were still 1 hour late. And when we reached there, I needed oxygen to be able to even start the presentation. And I'm supposed now to be meeting an investor and behaving. So those are some of the episodes that we went through. I think everybody has their own stories. I don't want to take all the evening because it's really not for talking, but it was very interesting. And I want to thank you all. Mary, thank you, and all the PIT team. And our MD, I can't forget. You kept pushing us. You kept standing with us. When we went to the US, and I think people are saying, you're going to London, then you're going to US, then you're coming. That's the most terrible trip we had. Because can you imagine living in Nairobi and spending 2 nights in London, and one night in New York, and 1 night in Washington, and back to Nairobi. And we were coming here for the launch. We were so tired. We went to New York. The best we saw of New York was in a taxi, so we were just taking pictures. Any people stop. That's New York. And that's it. But we are grateful. So asanteni sana. I think I can talk and talk and talk. Let me stop there. Nasema asante, all of you, everybody. We appreciate you. We thank you. You did it, and we've made it. And I think for many of you, you have improved your CVs. Whether it's at individual level or at corporate level, there's something to talk about. There's a legacy you've made in the country. I understand it's one of the largest rights issued that has been done in Kenya. And it's this team that have made it. It wasn't any individual, it's all of us working together. And thank you so much. All the advisors made us call your names. I'm not going to repeat again. I am truly grateful. Job, this was not as easy as the one we did in 2009. You know, the funny thing with Job is that when you're very serious, he starts laughing. So in the middle of your saying a very serious thing, and the Job just laughs. And I said, Job, you are laughing. This is not time to laugh. This time, things are serious. Don't what do I do? Then he laughs at you. And he just infects you, start laughing also. But thank you so much, everyone. We really appreciate. Nimesema asante, Mungu abariki.
May I first of all acknowledge Kengen team that is here led by the managing director and all the ESCOM members. May I also acknowledge the presence of the teams that are here, the advisory teams. They have done a marvelous job. And without even going into a lot of things, because I've been talking for many, many years. Time and again, I'm caught by the media and I refuse to talk. I say, why don't you talk to us these days? Then I normally say, there are younger people who can talk better, which is true. So I don't say much these days. I try to avoid as much as I can. So it is no exemption. Tonight I'm not going to say many words. If I were to say many words, they are truly many, but they will just bore you. I want, however, to acknowledge appreciate so much the fact that I've been involved with Kengen since Kengen went IPO. I was in the transaction advisory team that did the IPO in 2006. And if there were tense moments, even that time there were very tense moments. I can tell you, John, 3 days to the end of the transaction, or to the close, we had only picked 3 billion Kenya shillings. And we needed approximately 8 billion. Then the last 3 days, to answer close, people started bringing transfer forms in pickups. And the processing went on and on and on and on. Sleepless nights, that was in 2006. And I can tell you it was not easy. Kibet, were you there?
Yes.
Yes, I remember his senior calling me late in the night and saying, what are we going to do? And up to the end, we thought this was going to be a disaster. But it became the biggest, the most successful IPO Kenya had had up to that moment. And I don't think in terms of enthusiasm, there was to be any other for a long, long time to come. So working with Kengen, for me, has been a real joy. So even when we came to do the FIBO, the board in 2009, that John has just referred to, it was also not easy. Apparently, most transactions for Kengen are not easy. Mr. MD, you'll have to tell us the secret, why they are that difficult. Because I have actually done quite a number of transactions in this market. And Kengen transactions have not been, but they have been trailblazers. That's why they are not easy. They have broken new ground. And that has made the difference. The public board was Liu a trailblazer, and it became a very popular thing, and we have seen that. Even this rights issue, there were very frustrating moments. I would be called by my team, what do we do? And I would sometimes have to reply emails from Amish. Unfortunately, I bring his apologies, he's out of town. He would have loved to be here. I'm sure he would have had much to talk. He would have, he would send me emails at 3 a.m. and he expects me to reply, because if I don't, he actually calls. It was that serious. But that said, all these, at the end of the day, has turned out to be the reasons for our smiles. And I am so happy tonight that I can be able to smile. When I see all these transaction team members, sorry, there was a time I didn't spare you. Did I? I didn't allow her. At one point, I couldn't allow her to rest. I kept calling. What is going on? Can you give us this? Now, Ben, the same thing. A lot of people had to be moved and whipped, if we use parliamentary language, to get things done. And it is not easy. Kibet, thank you very much for all that you managed to do. Yeah, I was actually suggesting to Kibet, hinting that he should ask for additional fees. I hope, Mary, you have not heard that. Because he actually did a lot of quick processing, and that way we saved a lot of money, especially from what you call ICF, Investor Compensation Fund, because we were light on spot in terms of processing at the very, very difficult times. David Lenkamp, he kept, even when he's away, he kept in, there were communications that went on even when he's in London or Rwanda or wherever. And PJ was wonderful. She wrote, I don't know whether she was sleeping at all, because you'd send a document or ask something from PJ, and she's writing and writing and sending documents late anytime. I don't know whether she ever sleeps. It was amazing. Actually, these were amazing things. There were a lot of the things that were happening could not be properly described. Where is Diana? Has she come? Yeah. And Peter? Oh, okay, Diana, thank you very much. Sometimes we were pushing you too hard. Eh? And you are always responsive, and that is very good, that you can have that kind of team of people that are ready to work in a time. Is Deloitte here? They sent their apologies. There is a guy who had the same name as one of our staff, Fred. You remember Fred? Aru. And one time he was getting very frustrated. But okay, he kept on, and thank you very much that finally they were delivering. And we can go on and on. I don't know whether we can really be grateful enough to these teams. The transaction advisory team could not have worked without the cooperation of each and every person. Leah, where is Kabaki? Oh. I was looking for your face and I couldn't see. At one time, they were really encouraging when things were looking very bad.